Daybreak show here at iFiber One News Radio. Jeff Slakey, Spencer Hughes. Morning, Spencer.
Hey, good morning.
More great guests on the air right now, talking Shelton Junior Programs. Joe Ewart, Dodie, Vonhof, and Shirley Gray. Good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for coming on and talking with us about this. You can find them online at sheltonjuniorprograms.com. And for those who don't know, for the last 20 years, Shelton Junior Programs has been bringing great programs to the youth in our community here. Talk to me a little bit about how this got started over the last 20 years, and then we'll get into what the offerings are for this year and a little bit more.
Okay, Dodie, you're the
Dodie, you start us off.
you're one of the originals.
Well, originally, we thought it would be really easy for our group to be sort of piggybacked on Olympia.
Sure.
And they had asked us, would we take our area? And we said, oh, that wouldn't be hard at all.
This is Shelton. We'll take the whole.
Well,
we'll take
of
the area.
course.
Why
So
not?
that means we have the schools which we service are Evergreen, Bordeaux, Mountain View, Grapeview, Pioneer, Southside, Hood Canal, Olympic Middle, and Merriam Knight.
Oh, and Mason County Christian.
And Mason County Christian. And then we also offer it to the homeschoolers now.
So it's quite a lot.
So we thought, oh, that wouldn't be hard. Maybe one meeting a year. So we meet on the first Wednesday of each month, except in the summer.
So talk to us about, and I remember Olympia Junior Programs and going to the center in downtown Olympia and watching some of these as a youth. Similar setup. They bring the kids to, where does all the performances end up at?
At the high school auditorium. And we are at a point now where we pretty much, for one day, we would do 2 performances a day, and we fill it up.
This is a great way for kids in our community who may not have ever been exposed to any sorts of arts like this to really get involved and invested in it. It seems like over the years, the kids are enjoying it.
I think they've had a great time. You see the kids come in, they're all excited to be there, and someone will say, well, I've got a brother or sister at the high school, or I've been here before. This is really going to be fun. So, and then they go out with big smiles on their face.
What's the makeup of the actors in the plays? Are they high school students, or
no,
where do they
they're
come
all
from?
professionals.
Okay.
And we have a contract with them. And
Our groups our groups that are going to be here on Monday for Ivan, and then the next week, both come, I believe they're from New York or New Jersey. These are really professional. They're young people, mostly. But I think they're just getting started in professional drama, and so this is what they do. They travel.
They enjoy coming out to Shelton annually and put on these performances?
Well, it's not usually annually. It's different groups that we have, and some will be only 2 or 3 actors who will play several different roles and have different costume changes. And perhaps the largest group of actors would be 6 or 7. But normally I would say 3 to 5.
How would you say well-known Shelton Junior Programs is in the community?
Not as well as it should be.
Well, talk to us a little bit about what we can do to help put the word out more, efforts over social media and the like, or just getting the word out to kids and parents that the programs are here. They're offered to the elementary school kids, so they're going to go see these regardless. But when it comes to help, perhaps.
Well, I think being on your radio program, for one, will help.
Well, I hope so.
I'm sure it will. And the Shelton Journal also writes an article or 2, which helps.
Yeah.
A lot of our people, well, I think everybody on our board at one time or another has had a connection with education, with teaching, or Dodie was a secretary in the schools. I was on the school board. It's just, it's just everybody. Joe was a teacher. I think everybody was either a teacher. Everybody's had a connection that way with schools. So when we understand the needs, to do something like this for our children, because it's not really offered here very much.
Right. I'd imagine we're getting close to the point where original kids perhaps are starting to bring or have thoughts to bring their kids. Dodie, you seeing that? You
Yes.
hearing those stories?
Well,
Yes. The young man that we just met, in fact, said, "Oh, I remember that," and he even knew the play.
Yeah.
One was,
He
one-
remembered. Good for him.
Yeah.
yeah, we've been doing this for 20 years, so we've managed to get back to we're now with the kids of the kids.
Yeah, full circle.
Full
It's
circle.
so accessible and affordable. I'm seeing $4 per play per student, and you provide free admission for one teacher and one adult volunteer as well per classroom.
That's right.
That's fantastic. Where could you use some help? Like parents out there listening too, how can they help? Because I know it's not easy to get all these kids to these events. Is there
Well, I
any,
would think that any of them are welcome to join our board, of course, and they can come and be at one of our meetings and see what we do. That's the first Wednesday of each month, except in the summer. We like to get the word out that attendance is really important, and they should encourage their children to come. Some have never been in a theater before,
Yeah.
and so etiquette is important. And of course, the teachers are vital.
Sure.
We want them to know what's going on.
March 4th is going to be the first performance of the season here, and it's the one and only Ivan. Ivan, of course, if you remember, to the old B&I days up in Tacoma, Ivan the gorilla that was there for many years. The book, One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate, is coming up on the 4th. Talk to me a little bit about that one, and then the 11th, March 11th program, Penguins Go to Flight School.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Do you have any more information?
Well, it is based on the true story of the gorilla who was in the store in,
Yeah.
in Tacoma, and
I
more
think
than,
he went to the zoo in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
and I think this is where the author made her connection with him, was down there. He has since passed away, and
Sure.
there is a statue, and I think it may be up in Tacoma, of Ivan.
There is at the Point Defiance Zoo has a
Has
Ivan the
something,
gorilla
yeah.
statue right out front. It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Right.
So it is presented to students in grades 4 through 6 on March 4th. There's a couple of performances there. And the book comes from The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. Additionally, on the 11th is the next one. What is it? Penguins Go to Flight School. That sounds like a fascinating one. Where do you come up with the titles for these? Or where do you choose from a collection? Or they say, here's what we're offering this year?
well, we don't. There's not a. Our vice president usually is in charge of researching plays that we think would be interesting to the students.
Uh-huh.
And she goes to various different production companies and sees what their offerings are for the next season. And we see what will fit in with our budget. And often we will choose a play that is being shown in Olympia just prior to or
Oh,
just
yeah.
after our proposed dates. We can sometimes get a little better break on price if we tag on to the Olympia
Oh, that
group.
makes sense. Yeah.
So they're also doing this play, I believe.
Okay, very cool. And you can always find out more at sheltonjuniorprograms.com. We will post the link to that when we post this interview online. Shelton Junior Programs. The P.O. Box is 2501, Shelton, Washington, 98584. Great website giving you a little bit of background on the history and ways that you can get involved in your own right. So very cool. It's always good to bring artistry and theater to the youth so they can see it. Joe, Dottie, Shirley, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And we
welcome.
Thanks,
again
ladies.
have the next big performance coming up on March 4th. That's coming up quick. What, next week?
Yes.
A week,
Monday.
week from yesterday.
We're getting ready.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.